we live? I'm going to try and do a live. It's from my phone, so it's not the best, but I have ordered a webcam, so at some point we should get a better live. Anyway, one of the guys from our turning group challenged a turn for Saturday, to turn something starting at noon. I did start at noon. I cut this blank 13-inch square poplar into a round, and now I'm just going to turn it into a bowl. I'm going to use the intrinsic dies on the outside, and it'll be food safe. Morning, Mike. It'll be food safe on the inside and the outside, so you can eat from the inside or the outside, whichever you want. Anyway, let's get it turned. Hey guys, okay, so I've got this poplar on the lathe. It's 13 inches around approximately. I'm going to be doing the intrinsic dies on the outside. It's just today's topic. Just one of the guys in our club said, let's turn something between the hours of noon and 3, post some photographs and see where we're at. So go big or go home. So I decided to go with one of the biggest pieces of wood that I had, cut it into a round on the bandsaw, and here we go. Gonna move you. Now I've got it trued up much more, I can increase the speed. I was only at about 800 RPM, so now I've got it at 13. I can maybe go a little bit faster so I can get a cleaner cut. to come around the back side and mark my mortise. I'm going to go with a mortise, I think, with my bigger jaws. Anybody watching? Hi Dave, how you doing? This is my first live actually, taken from my cell phone, so it's not the best quality, but I have ordered myself a webcam so we can do something better in the future. So I'm going to put this on my Easy Wood chuck, going to mark my mortise size. Get that elbow snagger. Okay, I'll just show you my mortise is made. It's quite a big one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. If I can set you there for a minute. I'm going to clean that up, sand it, and then I'll put some embellishing on the inside, texturing, and then I'm going to sand this whole piece up, and then we're going to do some coloring on the outside of it with the intrinsic dyes. Now I use Yorkshire grit when I do the intrinsic dyes. I know Martin did a demo the other day and he doesn't use Yorkshire grit, but when I use them I do, so I'll just show you the process I use. Should we get that far? Anyway. I should probably get my drill with the rotary, if I can find it. Where did I put it? I know I've got one somewhere. I've got more than one. There it is. I found it. These things I find do not like staying on. I've got this yellow one that I bought at Princess Auto. I think the foam ones are better, and I have got a couple, but I don't know where they are. I guess I should organize my shop. Now this is 80 grit, but there really isn't much tear out if you want to take a better look. Very little tear out. Guess I got lucky on this one. Hey! Usually when I show things to people it doesn't work. Okay, let's carry on with this. Oh, there it goes. Under the lathe I go. There it goes again. These things, I don't know, they're not the best. I think it might be just this this yellow thing. I'm going to actually turn it in reverse now. A little tiny bit there, a little bit of tear out, not much. Very little indeed, which is good. Let's have a look at that. Alright, I'm going to go to regular sandpaper. Oh, I've got a little bit of flat spot there. Oh, we can turn that off maybe. Hide it. No one will know, except everybody that's watching. All 12 of you, which is weird because I didn't think anybody would watch, but there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, so that is 80 grit. I started at 80 grit just to make sure that I didn't have any tear out, which there isn't really. So I'm actually going to turn on my dust extractor. It's going to get noisy. when Martin did this the other day, he didn't show the sanding, he turned the camera off. But I know you all want to watch me sand. Again, the lathe in reverse, making the sawdust go away from me and into the dust extractor. Sanding in both directions is a good idea because then it gets the fibers going both ways. So I'll go forward for a bit. Sand down here so that the dust extractor can take it away. Most of it anyway. Tiny bit of tear out there, just a tiny bit. Just address that. Because when you put the intrinsic dies on, it's going to show every little bit of tear out, every little imperfection, every scratch, every mark. Move on to 120, put it in reverse again. 15 guys watching Rob sand. That's not bad. I can't see any chat, but I'm guessing there's some chat going on. How do I see that? Billy Bird, hey, how you doing? Anybody chatting out there? Getting dusty. Ah, this is where you need your respirator. I should really put mine on. I'm going to put mine on. I got the NZ mask. The 150, we're going to go to 320, so not too much further. Less sanding is required at this point because it's getting smoother. It's oh, it's the RZ. It's the RZ mask, and it comes with replaceable filters inside. It's pretty decent. All the guys are using them. Yeah, they're good masks. Okay, last grit, 320. And we can shut this off. Okay, we'll shut that off. Somewhere I've got denatured alcohol. There it is. I did a video the other day, and it's basically showing how I finish my stuff anyway. And we'll do that process now, starting by cleaning the grain. Now you can use several methods. Like you could use air. I use denatured alcohol, but once I've got color on it and I do the sanding after the color, I won't be using alcohol. I'll be using a tack rag, so that the alcohol doesn't affect the color, because the color is water based and it will just pull the color right back out. So I tend to use a tack rag. There isn't too much dust on this. So, and what I do is I'll be cutting it back to 320 after each color. So also it will be getting obviously more sanding there, so it will smooth it out even further. It's going to take quite a bit of color because it's quite big. What I'm going to do first though is I'm going to add some texture to the bottom and the side, I think, as well, because then I can use some embellishing wax, which otherwise I wouldn't be able to, because this is a tight grain wood which wouldn't accept the embellishing wax. So I'll get that in there. Somewhere I have my texturing tool. Where is it? I just used it yesterday. There it is. This is the Wagner texture tool that I like to use. I also have the Robert Sorby. I'm not as proficient with it, but yeah, you can get good results from that. Maybe I will use it today just because I said that. Okay, I'll use that on the side. On the bottom I'll use, you know what, forget it, let's just use the Robert Sorby. See if I can wreck it now. Wreck it, Rob. Okay, so slow speed, in forward. Just bring, I'm right down at like 400 RPM. And I'm literally just going to touch it to the wood really gently and roll it in. See what that did? Yeah, that kind of wrecked it, like I said. What did I tell you? I told you I'd wreck it. Let's just touch that with some 320. We can clean that up. We can fix it. Because I'm Bob the Builder. I didn't just say that, did I? That's okay. It's all right. Let's just push it straight in now. At 12 o'clock. Yeah, that screwed it up royally. I tell you, I'm not very good with this tool. I don't know. I need a lesson from Jeff Horning. Definitely need a lesson from Jeff Horning, but it's gonna do. It's gonna do. That's where you got to keep persevering, right? Keep trying. Me too. I have the Wagner and the Sorby Micro. Oh, it's gone away now. I cannot see. Anyway, okay, let's just do a little bit more for fun. Yeah, that looks better. That looks all right. Let's try that at a slight angle. I don't know what it's going to do, because sometimes it will just grab and take it away. You got to do it really lightly, much better. And then what about the other way? Can we do it the other way? Or will it skid away? That's okay, it's good enough. Okay, let's just do a couple of lines in there, and then I'll burnish that a little bit, get the fuzzies off. Can't see where I want to go. Got to bring my tool rest up a little bit. Bring it in. And I think that'll do for the underside. Definitely take a little bit of shavings and I will just burnish them. Okay, so there it is. I was going to do the side. Shall I do the side? Shall I do the side or no? I think I should. What do you think? Anybody? See if I can wreck it now. Okay, let's do the side. Okay. Again, slow speed. 300. Which angle shall I go at? This one? How's that look? Very slight. It's got a slightly different angle. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted. See what it did. Actually, it looks pretty good, except for that extra piece of texture that I didn't need. Okay, we'll add a little bit more. We'll keep going with that. Well, that's certainly something. Not quite sure what. Yeah, I'm not the best at this, but never mind. Never mind. Let's finish it there before I wreck it completely, which I kind of did. Okay, we'll do this. We'll hide it. And we'll burnish that as well. I'll bring you around for a quick look at that, show you what I did. So that's that. What I'm going to do again now is, I'm almost ready for the color actually. I'm going to color this black and then move on to some different dyes. I know it's not that interesting, but maybe it is, I don't know. I've got the Hampshire Sheen intrinsic dyes here. And the first one I'm going to go with is the black. You definitely want a glove for this because you'll get it all over your hands. Unless of course you airbrush it, which I could, but I'm not going to. Now try not to spill this stuff. Now I'm going to go on the underside as well, because I have a mortise, so the underside essentially will be done, finished. Now I can do this with the lathe stopped as well, which might get me better coverage actually, we'll see. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to get sanded off anyway. Most of it. I'm in a light mood today. I heard Martin say in a bad mood he goes dark and in a good mood he goes light. Well, I'm going to go light. Let's stop that for a minute. See where we're at. Put a little on by hand here. Okay, I'm going to dry that. I'm not putting any more black on, that's enough. And then I'm going to sand it 320 again. Got my heat gun. Got to be careful with the heat gun that it doesn't burn anything. Move all the sawdust away. Make sure this is nice and dry. Okay, let's sand it to 320. Remove most of the black on this. What time is it? Quarter to one-ish. Oops. Maybe it is 1 o'clock, I'm not sure. Anybody? In Canada, not England. I can't see any chat, so I don't know if anybody's talking or not. If you are, I'm sorry that I'm not responding. £6 p.m. in England. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in Canada. I hope I'm not interrupting anyone else's live feed. That wasn't my intention, if I am. If you have a usual live feed, you go over ahead and watch them. I won't feel bad in the slightest. It's kind of cool though, there's 16 guys out there watching. Just past noon in central US. Hi Melvin. So I want to get most of this black off. And by doing this as well, it just gives you an even finer finish, a finer sanded finish. I'm only going to 320 though, and I will be using Yorkshire grip. Both the original and the microfine. And I love the results I get. It moves like tiger eye when I'm done. If you know what tiger eye is, the semi-precious stone. I don't know if you guys saw the bowl I turned the other day on the tiny 8x13 king lathe the other day. Came out pretty nice, I think. Anyway. So what you want to do is have a look at the bowl, and then if there's areas that you can completely remove the black, then those areas will be lighter in the end result finish. And I'm going to be putting the embellishing wax on the texture, so I'm not really too concerned about the black on that, because it's all going to get blended quite nicely in the end result. Okay, I'm just going to grab a tack rag. So rather than using alcohol at this point, I grabbed myself a tack rag. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with them. They're tacky, they take off all of the fine dust particles. And you can use air as well and blow it away if you want. Right, that is the black sanded. And now I've got to choose another color. So you start with the darkest color and then you gradually get lighter depending on what kind of a finish you want. So I think I'm going to go with earth next, and then a third color will be a much lighter color, honey, I think. Yeah, honey. So I'll go earth and then honey. So again, fresh paper towel. That's the honey. So this is the earth, which is quite dark still, I believe. Yeah, it's nice though. I'm just going to put it on by hand without the lathe spinning. Oh, it's on my lathe bed now. That's why you should cover it up, guys. Now you don't have to put this over the entire piece, although I'm going to. You could do patches of different colours. Bring out the artistic side in you, which I don't really have, but I try. Yeah, it's like my dad used to say, "You're trying my patience." I think he said that anyway. There he is. So I'm really just slapping this on. There's no real, you don't have to be super careful with this. I'm definitely not the artistic type, but some people would tend to differ because they don't do any artistic stuff. So it's all in the eye of the beholder, I guess. I'll try and get it down into that texture a bit. I don't want to see any natural wood colour on the outside, although the embellishing wax will fill those little textured areas. I'm actually going to put something under the... There it is. Okay. Just trying to fill in any tiny little bit of natural wood colour. So that it's a more consistent colour, I guess. great. That's the earth. So now we've got to dry that with the heat gun or the hairdryer, whatever you got. Okay, I'm going to sand that again to 320 grit. Excuse my absence, I just grabbed some 220. I'm going to give it 220 and 320. Just get the job done that little bit faster. So I think what I'll do is I'll leave the rim darker because I don't really want to take all the texture off. And the embellishing wax is going to be in there as well. I'm not sure what colour to go with. We'll decide. We can go any of the colours that we've got. What do you guys think? The honey is going to make it rich. I hope so. It usually does. The honey's got to be one of my favourite of the intrinsic dyes, I think, as a finishing colour. There'll be some on the rim too. Some honey on the rim, but there won't be too much honey in the texture. I think that'll be a nice result. And we'll go back to the 320. Every time I put the dye on, it raises the grain just a little bit because they are water-based. So every time you do that, it just gets smoother and smoother. And then when you use the Yorkshire grit, should be beautiful. Okay, and again, any marks on there I'm not worried about, because as soon as I put the standing sealer on and then use the Yorkshire grit, it's just going to blend the whole thing. So now what I'm going to do is the tack rag again, just to get the dust off. And now the honey. Honey. Hey, honey. Put the earth away. It's a prerequisite to spill these things, but fortunately I haven't spilt any yet, so famous last words. Oh yeah. Now I'm going to go over the whole piece with this. You don't have to. You could just go in areas. There might be some areas that I leave actually, just maybe in the end grain. Go around the base. Kind of blend them a little bit, just kind of feather it in and feather it out. The end grain is going to retain the darker dyes more than the side grain. So you really want to highlight the side grain because the darker dyes are going to come off of that much easier. Oh, that's a beautiful color. Can you see that? And then what we're going to do is we're going to really lightly sand it, just really lightly, because this is the last color. Just want to make sure I get it in there, in that little spot there. Okay, I think that that is enough dye. Again, we'll get the heat gun. I can take my glove off. We'll get the heat gun and dry it. There's a spot here actually where there was a knot, so I'm going to just sand that back and try to highlight that again with the honey, which I didn't get any honey on that spot. Just a little bit. Good enough. Okay, we'll dry that. Okay, I'm satisfied that that is dry. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add, actually I'm going to give it a really light sand with the 320, just to denib it. and then I'm going to tack rag it again, and then I'm going to put some sanding sealer on it. 3 or 4 coats. Let it soak it up. Tack rag again. And then the sanding sealer. This is shellac based sanding sealer. It's watered down 50-50 with denatured alcohol. So you end up applying shellac basically to the bowl and the alcohol vaps off. And it seals the grains of the wood. Now this takes a little bit of the colour off, but not too much. As will the Yorkshire grit remove just a little bit of the colour, but it gives me the end result that I'm looking for. And I'm looking for movement in the wood. Highlight the grain, the texture. You want to make sure it dries before you apply the next layer, because otherwise you're just going to remove the previous layer of sanding sealer. But this dries almost immediately. That textured area is really dark because I didn't apply the honey. It's nice. And my fingers are turning brown, and I don't even smoke. No offense to any smokers out there. As you can see, this is already starting to blend the colours a little bit, so you don't actually see smudge marks or any kind of markings from applying the colour. It's going to be dark on the end grain, darker than I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. Dark actually looks nice when it's shiny. I tell you, doing this live stuff is weird because it's weird enough talking to yourself when you're in here on your own with a camera, trying to produce some kind of a video. But now I know that everything I say and every time I say it, it's going straight out there. No editing, no nothing. It's kind of a weird feeling. And there's actually 16 people watching, which is cool. The end grain is what soaks up the most of the sanding sealer, for sure. The better sealed the wood, the better finish you're going to get on this. So don't cheap out on sealing the wood, otherwise the finish will just get soaked into the wood once you've finished. So you want it to sit on top of the sealed wood, the wax finish that is. Man, that's a lot of, it's a good sized bowl. I think I'm going to keep this one. Not like I haven't got a few. There's a bunch upstairs throughout the whole house. Okay, that's sealed enough, more than enough. Let's try that again with the heat gun. You want to make sure that this is dry before you use Yorkshire grit. Okay, I'm going to move the camera so you get a different view. Maybe you'll see better. I'll put you down where you were before. And I'm going to just denib that with 400, just lightly. And then use Yorkshire grit. Oops. I don't know. It's not a great position, is it? Let's move the chair. So you're sitting on a chair right now in my workshop. Okay. Right, so this is dry. I'm going to denib it really lightly. I'm just going to touch it with this 400. I'm not even putting pressure on the wood. Just the paper's touching. What that does is it removes the streaks from the shellac-based sealer, because it will tend to streak otherwise. On a smaller item you don't notice it as much, but on a bowl you will notice it. And that's all I'm doing with that. Get my tack rag again, same one. And that just removes the last little bit of dust. Now we're going to use Yorkshire grit. Glenn Senior. This is for you, buddy. Yorkshire grit. After intrinsic dies, using a sanding sealer on top of the dies. Dust in here again. I'm just going to coat the whole bowl. I'm supposed to put another photograph on my woodturners group page, which I would do, but I'm using my phone, so they'll have to wait or watch this later on. Maybe they could do that. Anybody sleeping in there? 15 of you. Hey guys, who's there? I cannot see the chat. I don't know where the chat is. Oh, there's the chat. Now I'm seeing it. Steve, you're not sleeping. That's good to hear, mate. Kind of rich old English something. Ah, this chat disappears. Kind of rich old English oak flavour to me. What, this bowl looks oak? Yeah, I suppose it's dark. It's a dark piece, I guess. Okay, I'm going to stand to one side and I'm going to put my face shield on just for you guys. Starting at around 575. Give the Yorkshire grit a chance to do its thing on a big piece like this. Doesn't take too long, but it does take a few minutes, a couple of minutes. You can actually hear it when it stops doing its thing, when it's done already, when it's finished. So we bring the speed up. Clean piece of paper towel. Oops. Okay, so that has blended them nicely. Now what I'm going to do is use the white. This is live. If you want to be in the in it.
No.
No.
I do have a question. But
What kind of question? Okay. Okay, so this is the microphone going on. She didn't even ask me if I wanted a cup of tea. Coat the whole piece. And then bring the speed down again. Speed back up to about 1000 RPM. Hello son, it's live. You can't see the camera, it's right there on the seat.
Oh, it's your phone?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's live right now.
Alright.
Come say hi.
Hello? Who's
No,
there?
come around here.
Who's there?
I'm not sure. There's
Oh, it's your YouTube account.
13 people right now are looking.
Okay.
Almost there.
Yeah. But what's this one?
This is poplar.
Alright.
It's a 13-inch poplar bowl blank
Okay.
with intrinsic dyes. I use black, earth and honey. And we're just about there. So what I'm going to do now is add the Hampshire sheen glass. If I can find it. Where is it? I just had it the other day. Where did I put it? Oh, a disorganized mess. Do you see it?
No.
Okay.
Is it not in your?
Oh, where it is? I had it out. Oh, is it put here? No, no. Okay, I'll just run and grab another tin. 1 second. I'll be right back. You'd think I'd be more organized than that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so this is the Hampshire Sheen Food and Toy Safe from the UK, directly from Martin. It's getting warm to wear that. Okay. Apply that all over. I'm going to use the heat gun on this as well. That'll melt it into the wood and also take out any solvents, if there are any. I'm not sure actually if there are solvents in this or not. I'm not sure, but it is food and toy safe once it's fully cured. Okay, that's enough of that. Get the heat gun, warm that up. Okay, and now what I'll do is burnish that in. And you can put 2 or 3 coats on, whatever you want. The more you put on, the more gloss you'll get. Standing out of the firing line, it's on a face plate with, excuse me, with 8 screws. So it shouldn't go anywhere, touch wood. What I'm going to do is put a second coat on. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to add some embellishing wax as well to the texture. What's up, Connor?
Not much, just
No?
watching.
Okay. And we'll use the heat gun again. And the last buff. And I'll bring you in for a look at that, and then we'll put the embellishing wax on. You get that nice movement in the wood, in the grain. Mainly the side grain. The end grain retains the dark color more. Live chat. All messages. Hey, Red Eye. Oh, now I can look at all the chat here. Because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. The honey's going to make it rich. Who's here? Steve Combs. Midnight Joker. Dave Gordon. Thank you guys for coming and watching. Does the dye smell? No, it doesn't smell really. It's water-based. Play with minwax stains. Minwax stains? What are they? Thanks, Billy Burt. Thumbs up. Appreciate it. Not a lot being said, Rob. Okay, no, there's not much chat. There's 19 guys watching. Gordrock, how you doing, mate? Nice to see that you're here. Thanks for watching. That's not a good sound. What's not a good sound? Oh, the texturing, probably. Yeah, the texturing. It's not my bag, but it's worth a go. I'm going to add some embellishing wax. I think I'm going to go with bronze. I do like a bit of bronze. So we're going to put this on the bottom and on the rim. Push it right into the texture. It's going to highlight the texture nicely, I hope. Even the lines, I'm going to leave it in the lines as well, because they're not too deep. It's not intended as a filler. You can't use it as a filler for big open spots, but if you've got a small amount of texture or a thin line, you can push it into that. hopefully next week sometime I'll have my webcam set up so that hopefully we'll get a better look at what I'm trying to accomplish here in future projects. It uses a lot. Almost all the way around. You make sure that it's in every little nook and cranny of the texture. This stuff I do like. I think bronze is perhaps my favorite, but it gives something an antique look. Can you guys hear me? I hope you can hear me. Live chat, can you hear me? I know I talk kind of quiet down here. That's good. Thanks. Thanks, Mike. Okay, we'll put it inside the base too, so that when somebody looks at the underside of the bowl, it has a little bit of a wow factor, even if I did mess up the texture on that first little piece. It looks okay though. And again, this is something that you want to let dry. It does dry over a few minutes. It takes a few minutes and it dries. You can use the heat gun again, I guess. I'm just going to let it dry. It just takes a matter of seconds, really. Okay, question time. Does anybody have any questions for me? 19 of you. There must be one question. This is the iPhone 10 that I'm recording with, so it's not too terrible. Red Eye Dave, no questions. You know exactly what I'm doing, don't you? Yeah. How many years experience have people got out there? This is an hour and a half and I'm only on the back of the bowl still. It's a pen. Yeah, just put a nib on the end of it, right? Somebody with big fat hands. Actually, yes, it does over the bedways allow an 18-inch max diameter. But if you push the headstock to the tailstock end, there's actually a lathe bed extension which goes down lower, which allows you to turn up to 32-inch bowls. Which I haven't got, but I think eventually I'll get it. There's a bunch of add-ons that you can put on this lathe, including a light, a headstock and tailstock light, which I'll probably get. They're like 120 bucks each or something. But eventually I'll probably get them. But I'm liking this lathe a lot. It's one of 3 that I've got, actually. I'll bring you over here. This is my MIDI lathe that I use when I do demos at the wood shows. And this one is one that I'm going to be giving away in a video very soon to a Canadian wood turner, hopefully a new one. So yeah, I have 2 King lathes and the one Laguna. I've only had it since February. I bought it on at the Toronto Wood Show in February. Love it. Right, I think I'm going to buff the embellishing wax off now. And then that'll be the back of the bowl done. I'm going to leave the speed control 2. In the old days, we could only change via pulley belts. Yeah, the speed control on the Laguna is awesome. There is 1 or 2 belt changes. I haven't done it yet. I can get basically from 0 RPM all the way up to 3000 RPM without having to change a belt, which is brilliant. Just a turn of a dial, and it's forward reverse, which is awesome. It's a good lathe. The two King lathes too, they're both variable speed as well. So that's the way things are going anymore. Make life easier for us. But that makes the price go up too, right? You're gonna spend more money. Okay, let's get this buffed in. Right, so there's a little bit on the bowl where I don't want it. That's pretty common. So what I'm actually going to do is take a scouring pad, if I can find one. There must be one here somewhere. There it is. I take a scouring pad and I just remove it because it's just on the outside of where I don't want it. And you can do this by hand as well. And that pretty much takes care of that. I'll bring you in for a closer look. That one looks Okay, I'm going to bring you in for a closer look. It's been an hour and 40 minutes so far just doing the back of this bowl. Showing you the texture and the color and the highlights. And I will complete this bowl. I'll finish the inside. I'm not going to color the inside. The inside is going to be just natural. And I'll finish it. I'll probably sand it really high. Finish it with Yorkshire grit and Hampshire sheen. The food safe. And then I'll post it on my Facebook so you guys can watch it. So I'm going to call it quits there for live. Thanks for stopping by. 21 guys right now. I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to go back to the beginning and watch me, you can. Red Eye, be right back. Well, you'll be on your own because I won't be here. Anyway, thanks for watching. There it is. That's how I use the intrinsic dies. Take your time on your finish. The more you take your time, the better finish you're going to get. And the intrinsic dies, they give you a nice result for sure. They up your game a little bit. Okay, take care. Bye now.